Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. We're going to begin here with another article about Swift. It's like they've been given the green light to talk about Swift now, as Swift has flinched. Swift has bent the knee. They're waving the white flag. They have to go in the direction of distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology more particularly. They have to. And then what does that say? That they're going to need to be layered. They're going to need it's going to be an MBDC setup, multi-central bank digital currency setup. There's going to be a layer system, has to be. Something for settlement, maybe something for liquidity, something smart contract platforms, connectivity, like what they did with Chainlink. You can see where it's heading. But let me read this article here, okay? And we'll go over this because it's getting serious. I told you. Well, first of all, I read that article to you in a few videos back, where they admitted they're going to be working with outsiders, correct? Put all this together. And we've seen a bevy of articles come out about Swift working with blockchain. Now, here's an article from palmbeachgroup.com. This is the Palm Beach Research Group. Let's see what they have to say. I'm going to start here. It says, to keep up with the modern era, Swift must adopt blockchain technology. Look how they're talking. This is a reputable research institute. Didn't I say it? They can't beat us. They never could beat us. Now, I can't say for sure what's going to happen in the future, but if they're going to work with Chainlink, you think that they might not? No guarantees. And like I said, maybe it doesn't happen. You think Ripple doesn't stand a chance? They said there's 7 more outsiders. Who are they? That they're going to possibly be working with. Who are they? You mean we might not be one of those 7? We couldn't even be one of those 7? I think is a possibility. Not a guarantee. I think it's a possibility. We're dominating right now. We work with a lot of the banks that they work with already. We have a lot of their former workers working for Ripple, a lot of former Swift employees working for Ripple. You think we can't take them? I don't know. I just have a different mind. I feel like we're going to devour them. And once again, I could be wrong. I feel like we're going to devour them. But let's get back to the article. It says Swift must adopt blockchain technology. And I said this years ago, and now you see they are doing it. When others said before, for years, people told me, no, they would never work with blockchain tech. This is what they told me. Now you see that they are. They worked with Chainlink. 7 more outsiders. Let's keep going. I'm a little excited. It says that's why it conducted a trial use using Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol. They still don't have interoperability. They're so terrible. They haven't even conquered interoperability yet when we've been thriving with interoperability. So how much more advanced are we? How much in a better position are we to connect the world? Swift can't connect the world. BRICS nations, they have 21 other nations want to join BRICS. They already have 9. BRICS nation want nothing to do with Swift system. That's why they're all trying to kick the Swift system to the side. So Swift can't connect the globe. So you tell me, who stands the greatest chance of connecting the globe? Maybe a little XRP? A little Stellar? Mix a little Stellar in there? A little Quant to connect everything together? I don't know. You tell me. You tell Algorand, mix a little Algorand in there. But it's just my humble belief, not financial advice. It's not Swift. They're going to say something at the end of this article. I'm telling you that more revelations are had. Swift is telling, and what they're showing me is weakness. This is why Ripple has been striking and must strike now. Talk to all those banks. It's time. But let's keep reading the article. It says, meaning no more waiting days for your wire to arrive. The trial show, and this is how I know Swift has their hooks into a lot of these institutions, these research institutions, because this is a flat out lie. You tell me, is it a lie or not? Well, let me read this. It says, the trial showed that Swift can provide an easy way for countries and businesses to interact with each other in a CBDC-based financial system. Wait a minute. But you accomplish nothing without Chainlink. So was it Swift or Chainlink that made it possible? Sounds to me like Chainlink did what it always always does, what it was designed to do. And it had very little to do with Swift, except Swift knocking on the door of Chainlink, an established interoperability protocol, and saying, hey, could you help us out? The same way that I believe that maybe they knock on the door of Ripple in the future and say, hey, can you help us out? We're in a tough spot here. Nobody wants to use us. We still want to operate around the globe, but BRICS nations closing us out, as they have been looking for alternative systems. That's why you see them setting up their own CBDC systems, their own national digital currencies, where they're in a closed ecosystem, but they can have interoperability with other BRICS nations. They're trading in local currencies, cutting out the dollar, which is heavily associated with SWIFT systems, the SWIFT systems that kicked out the central banks of Russia, Iran, that helped to sanction being entities around the globe. Do you really think that system's going to continue? No, not the way that it is. Not the way that it is. It's a new day coming. We will feast on them. Just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with that. I'm just expressing myself. Let's keep going here, because they're getting exposed here. They're showing how close we are to victory. In my humble opinion, Ripple continues to dominate. Just imagine when we finally close this chapter with the SEC and XRPs on that liquidity hub, and we can really play. Just imagine. Or not. Let's continue on here. So Swift and their lackeys, they lie a lot. It wasn't Swift. It was Chainlink. Chainlink could do it without Swift if they really wanted to. They connect things without Swift. But let's keep going here. It says here, Tom Zak, Swift's chief innovation officer, hailed the successful trial, saying for tokenization to reach its potential. Wait, all of a sudden they're all in for tokenization. Really? I thought Swift was so powerful they didn't need us. They didn't need DLT. They didn't need blockchain. Now, all of a sudden, you see rapidly in this last year and a half, they've turned over a new leaf. They sound a lot like Ripple. Right. We're superior for now. We shall remain that way as long as we continue to innovate. Let's keep going. So now they're all about tokenization, right? You want some of those trillions. That's our trillions. Either that or you're going to hand some trillions over to us. We're going to share in that. But either way, we're out front, and you know it, Swift. It says here, institutions will need to be able to seamlessly connect with the whole financial ecosystem. That's key. They just told you how the victory is going to come. The whole financial system that Swift is being shirked from as we speak. The entire financial system, where a good swath of it is looking to replace Swift. So how are they going to seamlessly connect the whole financial system? Maybe through the new financial system that they're all privy to, that a lot of their banks already have partnerships and deals with. You don't see how that there's a parallel there? Maybe through the connecting of pure liquidity settlement tokens and interoperability protocol like XRP Quant XLM, maybe? I don't know. But to make a statement like that, they can't be talking about them. There's no way they're talking about themselves, knowing the global geopolitical tensions that exist and that are very real. They just dumped billions in U.S. treasuries the other day. Did you watch that video? Billions in U.S. treasuries the other day. Don't sound like they're too friendly to Western systems out there. Let's keep going. I'm just telling the facts that I've read from articles that anybody can look up. Let's keep going. It says, our experiments have demonstrated clearly that existing secure and trusted Swift infrastructure can provide that central point of connectivity. But how? How was that connectivity brought to you? Through a distributed ledger technology, Chainlink, which is not even the best one. No disrespect to Chainlink. They're really good. They're really good at what they do. They're not the best. They're not the creme de la creme. They're not at the top. They're not the cream of the crop, like Macho Man would say. No. Who's the cream of the crop? When you're talking about smart contracts, when it comes to banking systems, you're talking HBAR. You're talking Hedera. You're talking Algorand. But you can throw Cardano in there as well as a pure utility token. When you're talking cross-border payments, settlement, liquidity, you're talking XRP. You're talking XLM. When you're talking interoperability, you got to open up the gates for the beast that is quant. And I mean beast in a good way. They're just running wild on the banking industry, which is why Nexi and Sia Chain and Sia Partners partnered with Quant. Why the Bank of England has been working with Quant. Why the Bank of International Settlements has been seeking out the knowledge of Quant. We know who the big dogs are. They don't want to cause FOMO. They don't want the regular people to know. Not yet. Seems to be, my humble opinion, they're holding things back just a little bit. We know, but we're a special group. We're not the normal people. We're not them. No. But let's keep going. Because they're just telling at this point. They're just telling. At least that's what I'm reading. You can read it differently. I respect that. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything at all. I want to jump down here to this part here. They really tell here. It says, the people working at Swift know this too. About the transaction fees being dirt cheap with the DLTs and such like that. It said, for instance, Polygon network can process 65,000 transactions per second, each transaction costing less than 0.02 cents. They go over some things like that when it says we can send vast sums of value on crypto networks. They know that. So what are they saying? They can't compete with us. This is what Palm Beach Research Group is telling everyone. Listen, you can read this article for yourself. It's titled, Swift is adopting blockchain technology to speed up transfers, which also in just in the title alone tells you we are superior to this horrible, no disrespect, trash Swift system that has been around since the age of the dinosaurs, for lack of a better word. Well, let's keep up. Yeah, I'm going to, let me tell you, I have no love for the enemy. I will take all of their money, but I have no love for them. No. So let's scroll down here. This part they're telling. It says here, the people working at Swift know this too. How would they know that? Because they reach out to let me tell you something. If there's powerful entities reaching out to us on YouTube as content creators, and I'm pretty sure it's across the board. People would be surprised. If that's happening, there's no way that they're not reaching out to all of these institutions, these research institutions. They definitely are. Probably having multiple phone calls, multiple emails. This is why they can say the people working at Swift know this too. I mean, you could take a different route with that and just say they're guessing based on activity, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they consult with a lot of these research groups to get their knowledge. Sometimes they can get it for free. People are just overzealous to work with a big institution, big name. Sometimes they can pay them to do research. This is how they can say it. So they say it in a sort of roundabout way. They don't give specifics, but they let you know that they know. It says here, the people working at Swift know this too. And that's why they're looking at CBDCs. Here comes the powerful part. I know it took a little while to get here. All of this is good information, in my humble opinion. Here's the powerful part. It says they don't want to lose the control they have over financial markets. What does that tell you? I told you we could take over. I told you they fear us. You had Christine Lagarde say it. You had some large financial person say it like a couple of weeks back. Remember we covered that article? Now you have Palm Beach Research Group saying that Swift feels the same way. That, well, let's expose this part here. It says they don't want to lose control, which means what? That they could lose control. Lose control to who? What's the answer? You know it. Who's at the forefront of low transaction costs, speed, and everything? That's as far as payments outright. Let's not just say cross-border payments. Payments outright. Ripple, Stellar, Algorand, the bank coin, any of them. Choose one. That's who. That's who they are afraid of losing control to. That's who Christine Lagarde said posed a threat that could render central banks irrelevant. And, So let's get back to this here. It says they don't want to lose the control they have over the financial markets. We're in a big position. A lot of people just don't see it. We're in the driver's seat right now. What's going on actually is incredible. What we're involved in now, how it all shakes out, who knows? I believe we're going to be very well off. I believe we're going to be in a great spot. That's how I believe. Others may believe differently. So, but we will see. Time will tell. But as of right now, we're in the driver's seat. They're telling. Let's move on here to another article. Okay. So this article here is from U.Today and it's titled XRPL Developer Unveils Huge Vision for XRP Fiat Gateway. And it begins here. It says XRP Ledger developer Weistwind, my apologies, has unveiled a huge vision for the XRP Fiat Gateway. The XRP Tipbot creator was replying to an XRP user's question about when the XRP off-ramp feature would be enabled. It says in an exciting milestone, Zoom, major XRPL wallet, announced the launch of on-ramp services for users from Netherlands in October 2022, allowing them to easily convert their euro for XRP without involvement of a third party. That's huge. That's major. Look how advanced we're becoming. Look how far we've gone in just a year's time. We are the dominant technology. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. It says users could purchase XRP sending euros from their international bank account number, the IBAN, to XRPL Labs and receiving XRP in minutes. Probably faster than that. You want to be real. It says although the off-ramp option was added after, it was not enabled. Zoom's on-ramp services ignited community excitement at launch and continue to do so, with users now eagerly awaiting the enablement of the off-ramp feature. Scroll down here to see if there's any more. It says Wind responded that a solution is already available and will be implemented as soon as Zoom 2.6. So we'll see if that happens. It says, and hooks related developments are complete. We're going to stop there. Okay. Let's move on to another article here. So once again, massive progress being made at lightning speeds. Why? They don't have long before they have to issue some sort of regulation or regulatory clarity. If all of these major institutions are going to be getting deep in crypto, and they are, big money is taking over crypto. Big money's taking over Bitcoin. Like BlackRock buying up all the crypto. Sorry about that. Bitcoin miners. Look up that. Look up some articles on that. You're going to see. So if they're all going to be getting in deep, I promise you there's big money behind the scenes pushing for crypto regulation, but for it to be released at the right time, once they're all properly positioned so they can make the big money. This is why they've been stepping in, as I've been saying, while they're flushing retail out. And you see retail leaving every day. But anyway, let's move on to this article here because we got to talk about this. All affects the new financial system and how fast it's deployed, how much it will win. People running to new ways of moving capital, custodying their own capital, store of value. Also, a new stores of value will come into play. I promise you that. But let's read this article here. This is from Wall Street Journal, WSJ.com, and it's titled, U.S. economy could withstand one shock, but four at once. I've been telling people there's a few catalysts to watch out for. Right now, the U.S. economy is about to get tested majorly. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, a year of surprisingly strong growth is about to be tested by a strike. Really surprisingly strong growth, really. All the people are struggling out there. This is what I'm reading. They're struggling out there. Affordability of living is terrible right now. They can't afford homes. Their apartments, they complain, are too expensive. They can barely afford food. That's some strong growth, right? They're living off of credit cards. Oh, that's right. By the way, I've been saying for a while how M2 Money is showing the historical charts. M2 Money is showing that people's checkings account and savings accounts are just dry. They're empty. They're low. I have an article that's going to prove it later on. Yeah, I don't like to talk and not back things up. So now I like to bring the articles and back up almost everything that I'm saying. So that way you can see for yourself. Although you could just look it up for yourself, really. But I'm going to show you. So it says here, a year of surprisingly strong growth. That's a lie, in my humble opinion, is about to be tested by a strike. The possibility of a strike, possibility of a government shutdown, student loans. We were talking about that recently, and oil prices, which is they haven't begun to feel the effects of OPEC plus cuts of oil. And they said they're sticking to the cuts. The people are not ready. If they think gas prices are high now, energy prices are high, they haven't seen anything yet. If that oil goes to $120 a barrel or north of that, as some pros have said is possible. They said that's what they're saying. I mean, the effects are always felt later on. Keep that in mind, right? So, I mean, yes, in some areas, people are already seeing gas prices go up. This is what they've been reporting. But later on, it'll be felt more, right? All right, so let's scroll down here. OPEC plus cuts. We have the student loans payments are restarting. When was that supposed to restart? I think that's supposed to restart the beginning of October, I believe it is. Something like that. So now, if the people are low on money in their checking account, low on money in their savings accounts, we've read that credit card use is at an all-time high. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. So maybe people have maxed out most of their credit cards, and so now what do they use to repay all of this? Where are they getting this extra capital from? It would have to come from necessities of living, I would think, right? This is what I'm reading. A lot of people were already cutting back so they could funnel most of their capital to necessities, groceries, paying significant bills and such. So now you mean to tell me they're going to have to cut some of that out in order to pay these student loans back? Like everything, the federal government fumbled everything. I hope this is what people are seeing. They fumbled everything, overprinting money, raising interest rates, rinse and repeat cycle, loose monetary policy, not really doing their job and governing the banks. Isn't that what they get paid for, to make sure that the banks are doing what they're supposed to? So then why do you need to come out right now and say, hey, we're issuing new regulations to tighten up the banks? Yeah, we're going to have new capital requirements. You couldn't envision having that before? Of course they could. They obviously must want the chaos, right? So we will see. The U.S. economy is about to be tested. We will see. And no, I'm not worried about their little government shutdown. We saw how that worked out in the summer, right? the last one. And then we saw the one before that, how that worked out. They always come to the last second. They come to some sort of agreement. I'm not sure what the disagreement is about this time around. I mean, you're looking at a government shutdown when you sacrifice one of the biggest pieces on the chessboard, which was the debt limit, which now they're just running the debt limit. It's so high. It's unbelievable how much they're accruing every single month or every few weeks, really. It's not sustainable at all whatsoever. But let's continue on here to another article. Okay. So this is the one that proves what I'm talking about when it comes to savings. This is from Newsweek.com. I'm very surprised, but they have this article here, and it's titled "America Faces Savings Disaster." Let's go down here. I'm telling you, I don't speak just from the top of my head. I try to speak from research. That's primarily what I do. I give a little bit of opinion, but I try to base even my opinion on what I've read. It says here, a drop in savings. Oh, that's cute. A drop. These people are bottoming out their savings to the point where people are emptying out their 401ks early. Yeah, I read about that as well. I mean, unbelievable times we're living in, right? It says a drop in savings among Americans and a record amount of credit card debt. See, I knew it. Even Newsweek knows. I was just talking about this. A record amount of credit card debt could spell disaster for the economy, for the country's economy, should a recession hit. What? Like, see, this nonsense here. We're in a depression. This is depression level stuff. M2 money has never been this low except all of the other depressions. So what does that tell you? The people are struggling. Wage growth is, it's terrible. Oh, inflation, stagflation, really. But let's keep going. Let's roll with this delusion they want to paint about a recession, even though we hit a technical recession years ago, wasn't it? It says here, could spell a disaster for the country's economy should a recession hit the U.S. in the coming months or next year, according to experts. If we're not in a recession, if we haven't been in a recession already, and if this is not a depression, I don't know what is. It says a recent data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis shows the country's personal savings rate, which is a part of what? It's a part of the collection of data about M2 money, which showed what? That we are at depression levels. That's a fact. That's factual data. They're trying to just give you a piece here to paint this picture. But let's keep going. Recent data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis shows the country's personal savings rate has remained historically low in 2023 compared to the previous year. You don't say. In July, the latest data available, the rate was 3.5%, down from 4.3% in June and 4.7% in May. The amount of savings put away by Americans is generally higher than in the summer of last year, when it reached a record low of 2.7% in June 2022. Oh, is that so? It says, but it remains much lower than the average annual rate of 8%, based on the Bureau's data going back to 1959. That should be concerning, but okay, let's keep going. According to an exclusive poll conducted by Redfield and Wilton Strategies on behalf of Newsweek, 34% of Americans were able to save less money than before the redacted this year. A majority of 57% of respondents said they no longer had extra savings from during the health emergency. Wait a minute. They don't have savings just outright. Let's not play that game. They don't have savings outright because things have been terrible, more expensive across the board for these individuals. All right. So it says here, among all of the respondents, majority, 59%, said they had, 59%. So, I mean, it just blows my mind sometimes, these articles. 59% said they had less than $5,000 in savings. What? What? I mean, this is unbelievable. Less than $5,000 in savings in their personal accounts. Some 14% held between $1,000 and $5,000. 23% had less than $1,000. And 22% said they didn't have any savings at all. I blame the Fed 100%. I won't say 100%. I blame the Fed, and then just this the lifestyle that's promoted in the United States is like, let's spend money everywhere. You know, I got to have this nice car. I got to have I got to have two houses, even though they're both giant. I got to have a Lambo. Like, you know, it's this mentality. So it's a little bit of both, but majorly I blame the Fed because people are supposed to be able to live well. They're really supposed to be able to live well everywhere if their governments function correctly. But hey, they're governments, right? We know how that goes. But in the West in particular, since they sell this vision and this dream, the governments are supposed to function much better than what they have been. They've been terrible, absolutely terrible. And a lot of the people are working hard. They don't have time to figure out what the Fed is doing. They're just sort of subject to the Fed. They're victims of the Fed and what the Fed is doing. Yep, that's right. I said it. So anyway, they don't know what they're doing. You know, I've interacted with one or two wise individuals from the Fed, but the majority at the top, and that's the problem. The ones at the top making the decisions, no disrespect, but they're very, very ignorant. No disrespect. This is the best way I could describe it. They're very ignorant, and they don't seem to understand economics, money, cause and effect. You know, either that or, like I said, 100% they're doing it on purpose. One of the two. All right. So now, when really people told me that first, I'm just confirming it for myself through all of these things that I'm learning here now, saying, oh, whoa, okay, it's one of the two. Either they're very ignorant, or they're doing it on purpose. All right. So now let's move on here because we have the fight. The fight continues on for the regulation of crypto. This one here is from CryptoPotato.com, and it is titled Coinbase Intensifies Campaign for Clear Crypto Regulation by Mobilizing 50 million investors. Oh, really? Let me see what's going on here because I'm not privy of this. It says US-based cryptocurrency exchange giant Coinbase continues to push forward with its effort to seek regulatory clarity for the crypto industry, claiming that the current enforcement approach by regulators stifles innovation and puts global leadership at risk. The company has launched a new campaign to mobilize over 50 million crypto holders, really, in the United States to lend their voices in support of clear cryptocurrency laws. It says here, 52 million American crypto owners. According to recent Coinbase data, there are 52 million crypto owners in the United States, with 60% being either Gen Z, or millennials. 75, I'm sorry, I'm trying to like do this math in my head. I'm like, Gen Z, it's like after millennials. What year is that? Millennials is from like is it 80 or 85 to 2003, something like that? I don't know. It's something like that. Anyway, 75%, 75% having an income below $100,000. Let me read that again. According to a recent Coinbase data, I'm trying to absorb all of this. This is how my mind works. Bear with me. According to recent Coinbase data, there are 52 million crypto owners in the United States, with 60% being either Gen Z or millennials. Why is that relevant? Maybe they'll tell us later. 75% having an income below $100,000. That's, I mean, who are they polling here? Are they sure about that? You sure about that? It says, and 41% from racial minorities. All right. Thereby, and that's another thing. Like I said before, there was so many people. I mean, they were that last bull run. They were making disgusting gains. They were on the come up. The come up. They were buying houses with crypto money. They were buying new cars. They were sending their children to college off of crypto money. And I do believe a large part of, the markets being crashed. Of course, they want to bring down the old financial system. Of course, I do believe that. But they also wanted to stop a lot of those people, because it was almost like anybody could come in. People were telling their friends, hey, get this crypto, get this crypto. Not like stuff you see on the internet where it's like sort of pump and dump and they're trying to like get you into this crypto at the top so they could use you as exit liquidity. No, people were going back to their family members. Hey, like get this. And they were making some disgusting gains. And everybody was making this crazy amount of capital from what I saw. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. And they wanted to stop that. They did not want people, controlling their fates with their own hands, making this capital sort of outside the system. It was amazing, that last bull run. And I think the next one's going to be even bigger, even better. But let's continue on here. It says here, also a poll conducted in fall 2022 revealed 55% of voters in 4 key American states, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire, are, quote, less likely, unquote, to vote for candidates who do not support crypto and Web3. All right. In addition, previous survey revealed 72% of Americans 18 to 34 years old said cryptocurrency allowed for direct control of personal assets. Yes. Yeah. It says, while another 72% agreed that, quote, digital assets are the future of finance, unquote. Excellent. I like to read that. Excellent. Coinbase is looking to gather the current 52 million crypto owners into a, quote, a powerful force, unquote, as part of its campaign efforts for clear cryptocurrency regulations as the U.S. gets ready for its 2024 elections. Wait a minute. First of all, let's be clear, Coinbase. Pay respect to the people. In my humble opinion, you need to pay respect to the people who've been fighting for years. Listen, I know personally, a lot of us here from the beginning, we've been making phone calls. We've been sending letters. We've been taking meetings. What do you like? So it's been happening. I guess you mean you're trying to get the rest of the people. We've spoken to central banks. We've called them. We've called the Fed multiple times, had conversations, tried to make the push. We've been fighting the whole time, right? But it's mind blowing to me when individuals like Coinbase, who didn't want to get involved at first, hoping that the SEC was going to pass them by. Now you drag yourself into the fight late in the rounds and behave as though you're some godsend to everybody. Like, sure, you can help a lot, but don't pretend like you're the initiator here. Like you're the first, or, like we didn't exist and we weren't fighting this whole time, asking you to get involved. We did. We've been fighting. All the gray hairs and bags under eyes of people that have been fighting for crypto, making those calls and getting nowhere, or getting very little. And that's how we know that a lot of those individuals at the top are very lackadaisical. Look, you should be professional. If you're running a political office and we give you a call about crypto, you should be able to get back to us in a timely manner. 100%. And if you're working for a regulator, I'm saying a lot without saying a lot, then you should also get back to us in a timely manner. We're very eloquent in what we have to say. But anyway, at least Coinbase is fighting now and they're trying to activate more people, but I just see that and I'm like, wow, they just pretend like there's a group of us that haven't been fighting this whole time. But let's keep going. It says here, the SEC has faced criticisms for its regulatory enforcement approach that we know is to stand with Crypto Day. All right, let's see what that's about. Coinbase announced the launch of an independent advocacy nonprofit grassroots movement called Stand with Crypto Alliance in August 2023. That I didn't know about. Aimed at advancing sensible crypto innovation and policy. But why did you wait so long, Coinbase? I know right now that's an irrelevant question. I know, but still, it's one that I think about. It says the organization has seen support from over 100,000 people since its launch, with plans to involve 52 million crypto holders in the U.S. All right, so that's positive. I'll end it off with that. I was just positive. Let's move on here to we'll end it off with this article today. All right. So this is from finance.yahoo.com. Something major is coming. I don't know if people see it or not. This is titled Debt Market Titans See Fiscal Risk and Rising Defaults. It's coming, folks. It's coming. A couple of listen, I would hope that the regular people don't have to live through more. Unfortunately, that's not reality at this particular time, as there are multiple black swans just floating around. And I'm hoping they miss everybody. I want to get back to a bull run as quickly as possible. Let us have some fun. There'll be disgusting gains made once again in the next bull run. That's my humble opinion, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But I can't deny the reality that there are multiple black swans out there just floating around. And who knows which one is going to land first. If not, they all land at the same time. So now, and that's not, and I haven't even talked in this video about commercial real estate. The more problems coming out for commercial real estate. Unbelievable. 1, 2, derivatives. Let's not talk about that right now. That's a complete new video. It says here, Apollo Global Management Incorporated's James Zelter is, quote, skeptical, unquote, of an economic soft landing. You don't say. There's no soft landing. This is about to be a massive crash landing, the likes of which people have never seen, either before or haven't seen in a long time. That's my humble opinion. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm ready. I'm prepared. It says Ares Management LLC co-founder Michael Arroheady, my apologies, not sure how to pronounce that, says is concerned about the risk of a fiscal accident. Defaults will rise in coming years as riskier debt comes due for refinancing. You hear that? According to Joshua Easterly of Sixth Street Partners LLC and hedge fund manager Hamza Lemsoger. It says here, credit markets may be stable as the global economy proves resilient, but some of the titans of the debt world told the Bloomberg Global Credit Forum in London this week that they see looming headwinds as the impact of higher interest rates slowly filters through to customers and companies. The comments signal that money managers are still anxious about the impact higher rates will have on borrowing after the fastest interest rate increases in decades. It says, despite the speed of the central bank hikes, the amount of outstanding debt globally rose to a record $307 trillion in the first half of 2023. According to the Institute of International Finance, quote, the real impact of higher costs around the globe in the US and Western Europe it's not been felt yet. There's so many things like that right now. It's mind blowing where the real impact hasn't been felt yet. OPEC plus cuts. There's so much. Commercial real estate, not fully yet. And there's this wave of tsunami of bankruptcies going on that hasn't been fully felt yet, but it will. So you see what I'm saying? There's so much going on. It says, when people say we're going to have a soft landing, I'm skeptical, unquote. Zelter said in an interview with Tom Keene, Jonathan Farrell, and Lisa Abramowitz of Bloomberg Surveillance, quote, I see a world where financial conditions have gotten tighter, unquote. Let me translate. This is my translation. You could translate it different if you'd like. I could respect that. My translation, I see a world where financial conditions have gotten worse. Isn't that what we've seen from 2022 to 2023? So anyway, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.